Feels back his time. I'd now like to go to the gentleman who was here well early and who I know has other obligations. Distinguished gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Biggs, you're now recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank you and the ranking member for this hearing today, and thank you, Mr. Mayo and Mr. Bagdoyen, for being here. The DoD spends a ton of money. We've talked about that. Yet we're still seeing fraud, overbilling, fake shell companies, bad parts, and the system looks the other way too often. And so I want to highlight something, Mr. Bagdoyen, real quickly that you mentioned. You talked about 47 aircraft had to be grounded due to non-conforming parts provided from a foreign company through essentially U.S. cutouts. And this gets to one of the things you talked about is how you get there. You got to get them to acknowledge there's fraud. Then you have to extract the nature and the implications of that fraud. Now, the implications of this fraud looks to me, and I want to ask this question, is there any evidence that these non-conforming parts were a malevolent attempt to actually buy some bad actor to ground our planes or cause us problems, or was this simply a scam and they didn't care what happened, they just wanted the money?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Is your mic on?
Apologies for that. Yeah, yeah, we did come up with some detailed information on that particular case. Let me scurry through and see what I can detect, but I don't believe there was any malevolent intent. These parts, they're wing parts, if you will. Total cost of the fraud, about $180,000, but the grounding of the aircraft obviously was a national security impact. But it was a very small part made in India from a non-eligible manufacturer through two shell companies, which were basically a single person operating out of their residence.
Yeah, so this is the kind of implication that fraud has on our national security, because you grounded the planes over a very small, simple contract and a scam that should have been caught. And we've been dealing with this type of thing for decades. In fact, I appreciate Mr. Mfume showing his chart, but as far as my research has shown me is I've never seen that the Pentagon ever has actually survived and passed a full comprehensive audit. In fact, I've actually heard them say they're too big to be audited that way. And so I want to focus on something fairly straightforward here. What makes a contract high risk? What red flags do you see again and again? And most importantly, how do we stop it before the money's already out the door? So it's not about politics. This is a bipartisan issue. We've had this problem for decades under both brands. So we just want to make sure the system works. So my questions for you, I'll begin with Mr. Bagdoyen and then go to Mr. Mayo. I'm guessing you know that some contracts are more prone to fraud than others, and what are the common traits that tend to show up in a higher risk contract?
Yeah, I would say based on what I have seen, the big ticket items seem to be more prone, and also the subcontractor universe is even more susceptible than the primes, basically. You know, there's only a handful of prime contractors. They integrate many, many others, so the subcontracting may be an area of particular interest.
Mr. Mayo, same question for you.
Yes, sir, and I would agree with my colleague. Really, it's about subcontractors is a significant issue because we don't see down there. We don't see underneath the contract, so we don't see what's going with the contractors.
So once those types of high risk contracts are identified, what's the best way to put a watchdog on them and make sure that you're not going to be prone or actually defrauded?
Well, our audit component does a lot of audits in that regard.
But that's post. I'm talking about pre. So you've identified a certain kind of contract is really a problem. How do you get in there and actually put down guardrails? I mean, that, as Mr. Mfume talked about, guardrails.
Yes, sir. That wouldn't be our role as the investigative agency.
Right. Well, so
I would say a robust due diligence process, past history, for example, should be looked at. And if there is a risk
of the contractor.
Of the contractor, right? Forget the contract itself.
Yeah.
It's the player that needs the attention first and foremost.
Right. Okay. And so that leads to some kind of a weird dichotomy here. In Mr. Mayo's reporting, you've got a massive contractor, defense contractor, and I hate to even bring it up because they're located in my home state. But Raytheon in 2024 paid $950 million to resolve allegations involving defective pricing, bribery, and export control violations. Is that accurate, Mr. Mayo?
That is, sir.
That's $1 billion that one company can afford to pay back after some very egregious and serious allegations. And I say I'm out of time. I do have Mr. Chairman, a submission for the record entitled.
Without objection.
Thank you very much. And with that, thank you for letting me be here.
Does the
And thank
gentleman
you.
seek additional time?
Mr. Chairman, I could probably go all day on this. I've got a whole truckload of questions, but I think I'll submit them in writing to Mr. Bagdoyen and Mr. Mayo that way. And then I'll share with the committee the responses.
We respect that and
Thank you.
appreciate your line of questioning. Gentleman yields back his time. The distinguished gentleman